Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So I am setting the weekly challenge over on Junk Journaling for everyone. And this week it's altered playing cards with a hint of Alice in Wonderland. So we've set the theme of Alice in Wonderland, and I just think playing cards, always associate those with Alice in Wonderland. So this is what I've came up with. I was, as you see, playing cards, heavily influenced, or totally influenced to make these by ShanoukiArt. I will link her video down below. You've got warts and all. So these were my first two. Didn't go so well. I've then, revisited. Then I did this one off camera and I liked it better. And then I did these ones after watching ShanoukiArt's for the third time in fact, and kind of doing it the way she did it. And yeah, so I really like them. These are actual vintage cards, so I liked the back of these. I thought they were very Alice-y on their own. This one's not vintage and it wasn't very Alice-y, so I've covered that one. Okay, so check out how I did it. So I've wanted to do an Alice in Wonderland journal ever since I saw Rachel Brella Crafts do one, and I think that was quite a few years ago now. And so I started with this. Look, I've not even opened it. So I bought this whilst on holiday, 2021, and I really liked this bit of wrapping paper because it is like the original illustrations of Alice in Wonderland, from the original story by Sir John Tenniel. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. And then I kept looking out for an Alice in Wonderland. So found this one eventually in a charity shop, paid £2.99 for it, a little bit more than I would normally pay for it, but it had all the original drawings in it, so it was perfect. That was what I was looking for. I thought I'd use the wrapping paper. As I've had it for such a long time, I thought I'd do some altered playing cards, and I thought these are quite a good size for going on the playing card. That is what I was thinking. So I'm gonna rip it. I've got a very large rip ruler here, so I'm gonna just rip along there. There we go. I'm liking that. I'm not really going to do very much with these other than ink around the edges. So they're all ready. So that's that bit. Quite like these because they're quite matte. So I might use those. And I've got whopping big ones as well, which I thought would be good. These are a little bit more shinier. Of course, we want the Queen of Hearts, don't we? So I thought she'd make a nice journaling card. I've got loads of cards. I don't know where the other ones are. I've got some vintage cards as well that are in my vintage storage. So have I got the Queen of Hearts in here? There she is. There she is. So my thought is I want to keep her, so I'll decorate the back. Don't particularly like that back, so that's where I thought. So I can put the Queen of Hearts on the back of that, and that is quite cool. Yeah, so that is quite a simple start. So just gonna, there it is, just gonna around those edge bits that we can see. So this is going to be really simple. A altered playing card. I just watched a brilliant video by, I'm going to say it wrong, ShanoukiArt, and oh, I loved it, and it was really good for if you've got a shiny one and how to sort of age it. This isn't too shiny, so I'm not that bothered, although I might do a little bit of something on the other side. Right, that's okay. So let's get some glue on there. Want some quotes, really. Go on this, and I'm not sure if any of the kits I had, it had many quotes, because you kind of want off with a red, don't you? Yeah, that's quite simple. And then this needs a little bit more aging. And one of the things that I watched, the video that I watched today do, so there's a little bit, so we've got a bit of book page here, so I'm just gonna rip a bit of the book page and give it a bit of colour, and what she did, and I'm not sure if it's going to work on this because it's not shiny, but we'll find out. So she stuck it down, and then afterwards peeled it off. So we'll see if that happens. She used some faux sellotape, vintage sellotape as well on it. I've got faux vintage sellotape that I've made. Do I know where it is? No, I don't. But that was really good. So I put it on and ripped it off. Right, that's not dry yet for doing that. So we're just going to leave that for the moment. I'm going to rub some of that off, that glue that's on there. She covered it in tissue as well afterwards, which I might do. Oh, I've put it upside down. Oh. Okay. No harm done. No harm done. Now, what was I just thinking there that I was going to do? Don't really know, Jez. Do another one. Probs. Do another one. Right, so they need to go on a card, don't they? They're spades. Let's put them on a spade. So, should we bung them on an 8 of spades? Yeah. I might do some layering behind. Got the word Alice there. It's not related to this bit of the story. Don't suppose it matters. But it'd be quite nice to have the word Alice showing. quite like that with Rachel and Bella Cross book. That's what gave me the idea if I wanted a book. That she had a really old book and of Alice in Wonderland that was falling apart, and don't know why I'm going to do the other side because you're not going to see it. In fact, we don't need it, so let's take it off. So stick that on there. That'll be underneath. Yep. Yeah, so I really like the idea of rather having random book pages to actually have pages from the book so that the story's going through. She also split hers into the different sections, I believe, of the book. I don't know it well enough to be doing that. So mine might be a little bit random. Something under there. Where's my little scrap box? I've got scraps of strips. I've got some strips in here that I could use. Quite like that. Bit of dark compendium. It's quite a good colour match. Been using dark compendium. I've been doing Creep on June, so my video is due out on the 15th, next Thursday I believe, so do look out for that. There, I like how that's come out. I just realised I didn't do any inking around the edge of the actual playing card. Okay, I'm going to use the bigger one. And I do like doing altered playing cards because I've got loads of them, but I like them when you can still see that it's a playing card rather than cover everything up. I like it when you can still see like that. That's why I like this ShanoukiArt. I've probably said it loads wrong. I do apologise if I have. But I loved it. I quite like a little bit of red peeping top and bottom in that. Now, I'm thinking a splodge of red paint would be good. I could physically put red paint on it, actually, couldn't I? Some red acrylic paint on it. I could do that. There we go. Now let's have a look and see if I'm getting ever so messy here, aren't I? See if this is dried enough to pull off. So what she did was she pulled it off. And it's not worked yet. It left some of the, you know when you rip a label off like that? That's not quite the effect. All I've managed to do there Let's pull some of the card off. Really not what I wanted. Although I could stick that back on that side, and it's got that from there, except it's sticky. But it now looks a little bit older, so it's not like it was a wasted thing. I've ripped up some of the surface, so quite like that. So she does look a little bit older and aged there. I might put a little bit more on the other side and leave it for a bit longer. What are we going to do on here? Some acrylic paint. Right, red acrylic paint. Got red in here. So I'm wondering if I can just drip a bit. Be quite thick, won't it? Oh, literally waiting for it to drop. Don't know what we're going to do now, because it's not really running, is it? Oh look, there we are. Just tap it, it is running down. I wonder if I use my heat gun. Not very flat, is it? Sort of 2-3D. I might try and turn it into just paint splodges. What a mess. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. What about the bit in the book where they talk about it? Let's see if I can actually find it. Oh, there they are. There they are. So we've got a bit in here. Well, that's not the right page, Jez. That's 95 and that's 82. Okay. If I found page 94, that might be helpful. Off with their heads. Yes. Gonna have that. Still preserve that picture. So that is cool to go on there. Love it. That's what that needed. Probably needs a few other things, but for the moment that will do. Oh well, I've achieved something. So will this be ready to rip off? It does feel like it's, oh yeah, stuck a bit more. But instead of leaving behind bits of, it must be because the other one was taking the top layer of playing card off, but that's fine. The whole point of this was to make it look older. Yeah, that looks old. So we can stick something on there. methinks. To give it a bit more of an aged look, stick something on there. It's like tissue stuff. Have a bit of that. A bit of that on there. I quite fancy putting a bit of script on there. I do believe I've not put my stamps away from earlier. You're quite right. So goodbye. So I'll just stamp a bit of that on. On there, what I find on these sort of tissue type paper, takes ages to draw. Because the ink kind of sits on the top. There we go. I'll have that one there. Around the edges. Gonna stick this on with some glue stick because it's only thin and it will cover everything. I might just fold that over. And I might I think I'm going to leave that one as it is, looking complete mess, but that's kind of the look I wanted. So where's the other one gone? That's their chest. Right, so got a bit of wet paint on the back there. What about covering over with a bit of this? Yeah, might do that. And then that'll dampen down the red a bit. And there was a bit of, must have had a lump of glue stick there. Let's trim that down now. Now, I'm just wondering, have I got a rose stamp? Stamp a rose. Managed to get glue on there. Stamp a rose on it, that'd be quite cool. And I knew I had a rose. I think that'll do. It's quite rose-like. Actually go all the way over there, which would be cool. Cool. Let's have a look. So I know that this is not going to dry instantly because of the nature of this paper. I haven't stuck that down too well. That'll be fine. Let me check I'm the right way up. Yep. So I'll stick that on there. Oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm liking that. I mean, these are decorative. They're not exactly that you can journal on them. I'm just putting that between there, giving it a rub like blotting paper. Yeah, I'm going to call that done. Stick a bit of this around it. Let's clear away so we can see. So there we have them, our little altered cards. And then the other side, we've kept the fact that they are playing cards, but made them look aged. And I quite like the fact, so we've got painting there as if we have painted those roses. And I've distressed and aged that queen, not quite achieving exactly the look I wanted, but I don't mind. Quite like the way that that is looking. Okay, so I had another wee watch of the video by ShanoukiArt, and I had another go, and I'm much happier with the result. So I think two of my mistakes was these cards didn't have plastic coating. These giant cards did have plastic coating. I think that helped because it actually stuck to the card, the bit of paper. Those are the bits of paper underneath. She also said it works better with the thinner sort of old dictionary paper. I was using much thicker book pages on these. So so when I changed it up, kind of worked a bit better. Yeah, and she covered it with tissue and sort of coffee dyed it and things. I used this sort of tissue that's already coloured, and I didn't get quite the same effect. I used Distress Oxide on it, and I sort of sprayed it with water, so I got a few little different effects on it. But I'm going to do it again. I did the back. I really like that. So I used the little rabbit on there. I discovered I had a pig stamp with a big watch, so I loved that. And then I took down the rabbit hole from the top of the page of the book and just put some tea-dyed paper on there. So I'm pleased with that, but I didn't have the camera on, so I am going to give it another go and see if I can make something. I also couldn't find where my old vintaged up sellotape is, but I did remember that I had a stamp that has like faux sellotape on it, so I thought I might give that a whirl. I was sort of practicing stamping with it and trying to find the right colour. I think pumpkin pie is probably the nearest colour to it, so I thought I would just stamp it on there as if it's taped on there. It's not the best effect in the world, but it's not bad. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. And what I might do actually, because it's got a coffee stain, I really like the coffee cup stain there. I might put that on it. I think that will look good. I think I might use Big Dumb Bye for this one. I've put some plastic down sort of there. Yeah, that finishes it off nicely. Yeah, coolio. Right, so let's do one that's kind of following the thing. So I've picked out some cards. So these are from my vintage cards. So these look like they were hardly used, plastic coated. These do look old. I really like the back of that. I'm not actually going to do much of anything to the back of that, but I am going to decorate up the front. This one, I love the back of that as well. And this is the other. So there was 2 packs in there. I really like those. I think, you know, these 3 will go really well in an Alice journal. So we're going to distress the front. So I have got my old dictionary and a bit of old encyclopedia. I think the dictionary page is actually a little bit thinner, so let's just rip out a bit of this. There we go. We'll use this. So first thing she did, as I did before, I might just brush over what I did before. So we're going to use a bit of glue stick, because that's what she used. That already looks a bit and we're going to just take the edging off, so we're just working with some words. Can I see where I put glue on there? Yeah, put it up there and down there. So stick a bit there. It's not really straight, Jez. Another bit going across there. So when I did it the second time, it did sort of pull off, because and it left some of the print behind, which was what we were trying to achieve. So these are some old plastic aprons, because I'd run out of cereal box, and these are in the back utility, and I was just in there and it was like, oh, I've got loads and loads of these white plastic aprons that I was issued. I have to self-inject some medication every week, and yeah, they gave me a whole pack of disposable aprons, and they've just been sat there for 8 years, because I don't need to put a plastic apron on to inject myself. So yeah, and I've just left it there because I don't throw anything out. Even if I was a junk journaler, I didn't throw anything out. And I thought, oh, I could just cut them up, and they'd be nice little thin mats for when I'm doing messy stuff. Save me nice new background. So are these ready to tear off? I don't know how long it took. They are tearing. Is it leaving anything behind? Yeah, cool. Cool, cool. So that's cool. She kind of took the top layer off, but mine's not taking the top layer off. But quite happy with just a little random bit of sticky on. Maybe if you left it a bit longer. That's certainly sort of ripping at the point that the glue was at. No, that's not. So we got a little bit. should say it didn't always happen. That needs a little bit longer there. I did get as well the check these my sanding block out, and I did sort of sand it a little bit to give it another little bit of the distressed look. Oh, that needs a bit longer. Right, leave them a bit longer. And I've got ready some white tissue. She used white tissue and then sort of distressed it afterwards. So I've got white tissue here to stick on. So it kind of gives it a less dull look. I mean a less shiny look. And trying to decide if I want to put it over the back as well, just so I can give it a little bit of distressing. I might just leave the back as it is because it's pretty. So we're going to glue this down. So where's me matte medium? I did manage to put this. Let me get a little dish. I've got absolutely oodles of little dishes, and I don't know why I don't use them. There we go. Let's use one. Put some in there. And then I might use a little bit less glue. There we go. Not too nicely. Let's peel yesterday's glue off my brush. Look at that. There. Glue this all over. I could have. I might do it on the next one. Put some ink. Over the book pages. I'll do that now. Yeah, so we've got a little bit difference going on there. Let's just trim this down. This is just tissue that I've had in packaging. I think I might need a little bit glue in that corner. So it gives it a little bit of takes a bit of that shine out. And then of course we're gonna stain it. She coffee stained hers. I don't like using, I didn't have any ready, she just had some on her desk. But I found these little bottles that I bought a whole set of them, and so I made tea. So I used 1 tea bag for that amount of water. So it's fair strong tea. Put that on there. Don't mind a wrinkle. What's a wrinkle or two between friends? Take that up. Managed to cut through my plastic. That was clever, Jez. I have skills, you know. Lots and lots of skills. I can cut my finger when I'm cutting a piece of paper. When you hold a piece of paper and you cut through it, I can cut my finger. That's another good skill I've got that I don't seem to learn from. Right, so they're done. Let's leave them there. And let's see if these have now dried a bit better. Yeah, they've dried a bit more. Rip them off. Yeah, that's cool. What about this one? I might have had too much glue on that bit. Yeah, I think that's the problem with that corner there, was the glue was too thick. So it's not actually dried because it was just a thick lump. So I might just wipe a bit off there, but I quite like the fact that there's a messy splodge there. Right, I'll get this. Inked. Put some of this on. Such a cute little card. I've got loads of packs of cards. I found my drawer where they're all in. And it was like, oh, I forgot I had some in it. And I'm sure I've got, well, I know I've got a couple of other packets that haven't actually made it. Oh, don't think it matters that that's ripped. We are going for a distress look. Yeah. It does matter, Jess. Right. If I had a sensible size tissue that seems to only want to rip one way, right. Let's try again. So I think sometimes when you watch people on YouTube, I am not showing an example of that, where everything goes really well and you think, gosh, that's amazing. And then you try it yourself and it's not so good. Yeah, I'm that example. You try it yourself and it's not so good. But we get there in the end. There we go. I'm not going to fiddle with that anymore. Just going to leave that to dry. And then we'll put this last one on. And I'm probably still not doing it in exactly the same way, but that's okay. You do your own twist, don't you? I'm terrible for watching a video thinking, I like that idea, and then not actually remembering how they did it and doing my own thing anyway. Right, that's split, but it's okay. It's okay, I don't mind. Don't mind at all. Right. It's dried a bit, so I'm gonna, with my scissors, could rip it, but going around with my scissors. Taking this off. I do love the back of this card, and I love the fact that it's already sort of old looking. Anyway, it's creased. The edges are like peeling up, which is appealing. Do you see what I did there? It's really appealing. Yeah, it is peeling. There we go. I do laugh at my own jokes. Always laughed at my own jokes. Probably because not many people have my sense of humour and find them funny, but I think I'm hilarious. There we go. So that's looking okay. Get this one up. So there they are, done. And now I think we're going to use some of that tea, and that should hopefully colour do one at a time. Don't want complete disaster, darling. So that's given us, I'm going to drip some on it as well. So I'm going to give that a blast with my heat gun. Okay, so that's that bit dry. I'm being careful not to sort of blast air on this plastic, because I think it would just melt. There we are, let's mop up that bit of tea. Right, and now I want to do some drips. You've got a tail. Thank you. Do a little splash. There we go, bigger splashes. Yeah. I want them to dry. As they are, I want them to dry. So I'm going to just leave that for a moment. Right, so they're all dried now, and I really like those drops. And I think it's worth leaving them to sort of dry naturally. So I'm going to leave those as they are. I'm going to cover that. I'm going to leave that as it is. I like that. I think that goes well with the rose garden. I might put something on here, but I'm going to use some distress ink around the edges, and I have just spent quite a few minutes searching for my faux aged sellotape. I can't find it, and you know, I could have made some yesterday and they'd be ready today, but I might put some on at some point. So it looks better with a bit of inking around it. Yeah, I might put some on at some point, but not now. So I think these will make nice additions to the Alice journal. Doesn't necessarily need anything else. I probably will add some faux tape when I do eventually find it. But at the moment, I'm going to leave them like this. I might even make some. Now I'm going to put a bit of journaling spot on the back of this. Just going to put some of that on the white bits. And I'm going to get, I'll actually need this, just get a bit of paper to go on there. I'll just rip it up down there, and then that can be a nice journaling card with the Queen of Hearts on one side. Just rip that in there, and then flip it along there. Quite like that. And I'm going to see if there's something I can stamp on from that stamp set that I got. Don't really matter which way up. Put it that way up because of the writing on there. So, I'm going to stamp something from this. So we've got Queen, we've got these things. Mine. This looks like this was possibly free in a magazine. It seems like the sort of thing that would have been free in a magazine. And it feels the quality of what you get free in a magazine, i.e. not necessarily the best, but probably good enough. Now I'm thinking, just want to put Queen of Hearts at the top there. I'm going to use Pebble Path. It's my new favourite, so we'll use that. So I'm just going to do that corner there. I don't want the bottom bit. I'll just stick a bit of paper over that. I do just want that top bit. There, so it looks a little bit like there's a bit of a card there. See? That's cool. Yeah, that's all I want. I think that's enough there. On the back, a hint of a playing card. So we'll just stick that on. And the others I'm going to leave as they are. So that's loads of cards I've done. I think I finally got the look I wanted. Where's my spreader? Oh, it's been used, Jez. Finger tool. There we go. Managed to get glue on the front of that. Like the bark. There we go. That is cards. Right, let's get rid of all these gubbins. Okay, because it took me so long to, I was videoing several at the same time, I managed to make myself some faux sellotape. So it's not faux, it's actually sellotape, faux vintage sellotape. So I thought I could stick some of this on after all. So yeah, I have just spent the morning editing the video. It was an hour and a half long. I cut bits out. It was a lot of waffle. And yeah, and because of that, I'm able to add these bits. What I'm feeling is I'm gonna put a bit on there as though that's held on with tape, and then it's come over the other side, like in that bit there I want to snip off. just do a tiny little bit there where I've put the words from the book page. There. I think that finishes it off. I think that is what I wanted. So I'm going to put a bit, there's a bit on this where I kind of peeled off some of the tissue, so that's covered. Oh, that's come off. Put a bit there, and I might just put a bit on this side. There we go. That looks dead old. That looks like it might have been ripped and mended, which is where I wanted to go with it. So yeah, I was quite chuffed. I was just like, last night it was like, you're going to edit tomorrow, you know it's going to take a really long time. These sort of videos always, some don't take very long, some take hours. So I thought I may as well make some of this sticky tape and yeah, that's what I thought. Now I did stamp some on here, didn't I? I'm just gonna stick over the top because I wasn't over happy with the stamping, so I'll stick that over the top. Like so. Put some on that side. And I just love it. So I will link down below to ShanoukiArt, so you can check out the video that inspired me. And yeah, join in the challenge for this week over on Junk Journaling for Everyone. So if you pop over there, you'll find it in the events. So I will finish these off, and I'll probably show them in the introduction. So yeah, that's peeling up. So I'm actually gonna put it across there as if it is mending it, sort of thing my mother would have done when we were kids. Okay, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.